After making a huge batch of Heijang guk for my middle school reunion party yesterday, I was left with the seaweed and the shiitake mushrooms I used to make the broth. I definitely wasn't gonna waste them, so I used them today to make a couple of bangkons, side dishes, to have with rice today for lunch. For the seaweed, I used the method I used to use to save it after making dashi stock before my mum forbid me from making it at home. I cut it into thin strips, added water and rice vinegar and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or until the water is evaporated to soften it some more, since it's usually still a little tough even after boiling in the broth. It having to simmer for so long gives you the perfect opportunity to wash and cook the rice in the meantime, so you won't waste any precious time. After the water is evaporated, you can add equal parts of soy sauce, sake and mirin. This recipe is originally Japanese, just like the dashi stock, and let it reduce for another 15 minutes or so. Unfortunately, I don't know what you could do while waiting this time. It's a side dish that takes so long. But it's good, so it's worth it, I guess. Once it's done, you can remove it to a bowl and add sesame seeds. Yummy! For the stir-fried mushrooms, on the other hand, you can start by making a sauce mixing soy sauce, sesame oil and just a tiny bit of sugar and then adding the mushrooms to a pan with oil and stir-frying until they lose some of their moisture. I've only done this side dish with fresh mushrooms and never to save some I'd used for broth before. They definitely won't get as crispy if they've been boiled before, but at least you can try not to make them soggy. Lastly, you can add some minced garlic, stir-fry it for another couple of minutes and then remove it to a bowl and garnish it with sesame seeds as well. Aren't they pretty? They're quite easy to make and, despite the seaweed taking a little long, they'll save you from wasting food, so it's a great reason to make them, in my opinion. And they're pretty darn good, too, on some rice. So, next time you make some soup and you have some seaweed or shiitake mushrooms left over, don't throw them away, because